Why your ex-narcissist seems to be so much better when he gets a new supply or is in search of one, and 7 ways to get through it. Today at queenbeing.com with certified life coach Angela Atkinson. Imagine this. You've left your toxic narcissist after years of mental and emotional abuse, and you're finally starting to breathe again. You're finally free of this horrible, selfish energy, and you feel like you're a brand new person. Life is just starting to get really, really good. And then it happens. As you're humming along to yourself in the grocery store one day, you spot your former would be soulmate 2 aisles over, and there's something different about him. He seems happier, brighter, relaxed even. He's laughing, he's talking, he's even being charming. That bastard. You're confused, you're hurt, angry maybe. You're a far cry. This is a far cry from the man you recently knew. He's somehow transformed himself back into that amazing guy you used to love. Just a real quick note here. I'm explaining this from the female perspective because the majority of my viewers, readers, and clients are female. And because statistically speaking, narcissism is just slightly more prevalent in males. So, with that being said, this could really apply to either a female or a male narcissist. Anyway, seconds later, almost as if you're moving in slow motion at that grocery store, you realize what's happening. Your narcissist has found his next victim. He's in the process of love bombing her, and for just a moment, you get a front row seat. Listen, I know it stings, and I know it hurts when you see that guy that you fell in love with re-emerging once you've gone away. And I also know that you wonder, at least a little bit, if somehow he was right all along and if it really was just you. Maybe you were really the problem. Well, let's talk about why the narcissist becomes the person you fell in love with when you leave. So let's start here. It's really time for a reality check, honey. You are not the problem, okay? The first thing I need you to know is that while every step in the process of recovering from narcissistic abuse it can be very painful, this one is probably one of the most confusing steps. And that's because while the bigger part of you knows that the narcissist will not change, there's another little part inside of you that still loves him or her, or the version of him or her that you once believed was real. And that's the part of him that's going around, he's parading around now to the new interest. So it's like you're mourning that version of him all over again. Now, if your narcissist is like a parent or a boss or someone else, the same thing can happen. So even though maybe they're going to replace you with a new employee or a different employee, or they're going to replace you with, a new daughter or a new son, whether it's a real person or not, meaning a real relative or not. It could just be anybody. The point is that they're doing something to replace you, and that's where it's very painful. And so now what you're doing, you have to recognize that you're just really mourning the version of the person that you believed was real. Okay? Let me repeat though again, the problem was not you. The problem was entirely that the narcissist started taking you for granted. So he got used to having you around. Some people get that shiny new object syndrome, and narcissists are famous for it, where they just get bored. They need something new, someone else to, add to their little harem of love givers or whatever you want to say, approval, praise givers. They need all of that sort of attention. They need a lot of attention. Anyway, so, like I said, maybe he said life was too boring and he left you to pursue whatever it was he wanted. Or maybe, honestly, maybe you just had enough and you finally left him. But in any case, you know, um, what, what we come up with is the reason that he becomes Mr. Perfect again is because, regardless of whose idea it was to end things, he is now without a regular source of narcissistic supply. So he's on the prowl. You see what I'm saying? So once you're gone, he needs to get back in, quote unquote, his fighting weight, so to speak. So like, just like anyone, when you end a relationship, you might, go on a diet, you might start going to the gym, start wearing makeup again, whatever. Same deal, only with a narcissist, it's intensified. So it's normal. Sadly, for the the new supply, you already know what's going to happen. You know how the story's going to go, even though part of you is screaming inside and saying, "Oh my God, how can he be so much nicer to her than he was to me?" You have to remember what he acted like when you first met him. He probably treated you exactly the same way. They have a standard MO. Anyway, but As you know, narcissists are very hard to live with, and even a reasonably intelligent person might feel ashamed that she tolerates the bullshit that the narcissist doles out. So even though you may not see it, she's probably keeping under wraps any sort of, early sign of narcissistic abuse that is happening, just like you probably did. Or she might not even see it at first. So you just might never know for sure what's happening. Narcissistic abuse does run in cycles, though, and as we all know, this is one of them. So but in any case, if I'm in your shoes at this point, I'm going to make use of that no contact, low contact thing, and I'm going to use it to my advantage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to block them both on Facebook, okay? So this way you don't have to see it when you're torturing yourself, like we all do by stalking their profiles. Look, we've all done it, we all do it. But the point is, it's not healthy when you're dealing with trying to let go of a narcissist, okay? It means that you won't listen when a a well-meaning flying monkey tries to offer you updates on this guy, because maybe you're best friends with his sister, or you and his mom are cool. Whatever the case is, you don't need updates on this person unless it's in relation to something like your children, and you need to know what time he's going to be there to pick them up, that kind of stuff. You have to let go of the need to know everything and be connected to him, because again, narcissists have this drug-like behavior, this drug-like effect on us. Okay, they even though it doesn't always make us feel good, even though it doesn't always work the way we expect it to, we still want it, just like a drug. We still want that attention, and that it's almost like a Stockholm syndrome thing for some people. Okay. So again, what you're going to do is you're going to move forward, and you're going to focus only on the things that you can control, not the things that you cannot control. And since we all know you couldn't control the narcissist when you were together, and I'm only saying that because I could not control my narcissist when I was together with him. You sure as hell can't do it now, nor should you even want to, because again, please remember, this man is no longer your problem, or this woman is no longer your problem. So, how do you deal with the painful reality of watching your narcissist be perfect for someone else? Well, obviously, start by remembering what you personally dealt with, and by recognizing what she will soon enough be dealing with. Okay, the new person, the new supply. And quite honestly, even if you're tempted to warn her about what she's getting herself into, do not do it, even if your intentions are good. I wrote about this the other day, and I'll be YouTubing about it soon. This is just absolutely crazy, but just a real quick note: do not bother to tell the new supply, because if you do, what will happen is that she will think you're crazy. If you say, listen, I'm just trying to help you, this guy's crazy, he will do this, 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 and this. It does not matter what you say to her, because he's already told her that you're crazy. Okay. And if you don't believe me, all right, think back to the time when you were with that guy, and what did he say to you about his ex? If he's a narcissist, I bet you he said some bad things. And I bet you that he's saying similar things now about you, and you probably even know some of those things. Do not give him or her the satisfaction. Unfortunately, even though she may be an innocent victim, there's nothing you can do to help her. You have to let go. I mean, unless it's your sister or something, don't even try. All right? Now, the other thing you need to do is don't sit around and thinking that this new supply is going to get all of the benefit of the work that you did for all those months or years trying to fix him. It just doesn't work like that. The fact is that he is what he is. And even most experts are going to tell you a narcissist cannot change, well, at least not for long. I actually wrote about this at Queen Being the other day. I gathered up the opinions of several different, psychologists, psychiatrists, and various experts in this field, and really, what the only person who said anything about a possibility of change, essentially said that the change would be superficial and would only be to get what he wants, and may be temporary. So, and I think that's exactly the truth in my own experience. All right. Remember too that you're not really mourning the person that you've lost. Again, like I said, you're mourning the illusion of who you believed he was. So it's an ever-turning cycle that the narcissist is going to repeat in varying iterations for the rest of his life. You know what? If I'm you, I'm just glad I'm off that wheel. Anyway, so stay focused on yourself and on making your own life better. You've already been tortured enough, you know what I'm saying? So if this situation continues to keep making you miserable, then you're only allowing him to continue the abuse from afar. Do you understand what I'm saying? So don't allow the situation to make you miserable. You have control of what you feel. You choose to feel what you feel, even though it doesn't seem that way sometimes. You can decide, you know what, I'm not going to cry about this jerk anymore. Something that I do, just real quick before I continue, something that has truly helped me is and it sounds ridiculous and like it wouldn't work, but I promise you it works. Okay, when something happens in my life that I find very difficult, if I find myself wallowing or feeling, crying too much or anything like that, I go, you know what? Okay, I'm giving myself this long to be sad, and then I'm moving on. And this is exactly what I've done. My standard period of time is usually 24 to 48 hours. I mean, unless it's very serious. And in that case, I'm talking about, there's been a few life-changing events recently in my own life, and they've been a couple of them were very difficult. So when I went through those things, what I did was I found myself stagnating, and I thought, you know what, this is it. I'm giving myself one more day, 24 hours. That was my deal, 24 hours. In one case, I gave myself the rest of a weekend, which was about 36 hours. But in any case, that's a really good way to get it together, to allow yourself to feel, because you cannot just let go or you will dissociate. You must feel the feelings and then let them go. So what I'm saying is, my friend, take back your life and choose to be happy in your own way. Maybe my way doesn't work for you, but whatever it is, focus, whatever you can do to focus on what you can control and not what you can't. That is the key. Okay? Now, the next thing you're going to do is work on healing and releasing the anger. So, one of my lovely SPAN group members, by the way, SPAN is my online support group for members of for people who have been affected by narcissistic abuse. You can find it on Facebook, or you can go to queenbeing.com and click under the free support group tab to join. Anyway, one of my members said the other day, she was giving advice to a fellow member, and she said, you need to work on your healing, and the layers of anger will soon disappear. And she said that one of the hardest things for her was that mourning that illusion of that perfect relationship that she really had wanted to believe. And she said letting go was just a huge step for her. And I thought that was kind of profound in its own way, because what what she was essentially, she was just really raw and opening up and saying, that she herself had found that everything she believed to be true was just an illusion. And I think, unfortunately, that is so common among victims of narcissistic abuse, because they come in so strong, they love bomb you, they seem amazing, they seem like your soulmate, and then boom, the smackdown. It's no good. So we're all angry, but staying angry does not help you. And if you use anger in a way that helps you to move forward, that's great. But staying angry and not using the anger to propel you into action causes you to get sick. It causes toxicity in your life, and that just expands through everything. It's almost like a cancer to your life. So what you have to do is you have to forgive people, even if you never tell them, because forgiveness is for you, not for them. Do you understand? There's a quote somewhere like, holding on to anger is like holding on to, a burning a flame and expecting someone else to be burned or something. I can't remember the quote, but that's the concept. So I think that it's really important to work on releasing your anger. Another thing you need to do is never compare yourself to the new supply, unless it's to feel sorry for her, as you take note of the pattern that you're thankfully no longer subjected to in your life. So don't do yourself the disservice of trying to think she's somehow better than you. Okay? It doesn't matter if she looks thinner or younger or anything else. It doesn't matter. The truth is that narcissists are very picky. So chances are, if she seems, quote unquote, seems better than you in any way, it's only because he hasn't ruined her yet. Okay, now it's time for you to move forward and let go of all of this. Again, I'm going to say it one more time: let go. It's not worth your time. So just please, one more thing. Well, maybe not one more, but let's talk about this one. Don't if only and what if yourself to death. Okay, it's really common to have feelings of regret after any relationship ends, right? And quite honestly, you would not be human if you didn't wonder, you know, what you could have done differently, or whether something you said or did could have triggered everything to go downhill. But the truth is, that's not helping you. You can't change the past. Maybe you can analyze it and move forward, but what you're doing when you're in that feeling of being overwhelmed and being overtaken by emotion and sadness and anger and everything else, it's only causing you more pain. And chances are that you couldn't have changed that situation without going, of course, completely insane, trying to become someone else and make them happy. But you and I both know that you cannot make a narcissist happy all the time, because eventually something else from the outside will affect him and he'll rage against you for no reason or no reason toward you. Anyway, um, but the point is that now it's time to live in the moment and it's time to think about how you want your future to go because you get to pick. Just remember that. You don't have to let anyone tell you how to live your life anymore. Okay. So let's wrap this up today. How do you feel about this? Have you ever experienced watching your ex narcissist get involved with a new person? And if you have, you know, or did even if he hasn't, has he just appeared to return to the original, awesome guy that you originally met or girl? Um, Share your thoughts and your feelings in the comments section and let me know. All right. I'm going to sign off for now, and this is Angie Atkinson, Certified Life Coach. You can get my books at booksangieWrote.com. You can visit my blog at queenbeing.com. There are also lots of free resources there at queenbeing.com for narcissism support and narcissism abuse recovery and all of this stuff. And then you can go to narcissismsupportcoach.com, which is my portal for narcissistic abuse recovery coaching.